We're good? Yep, we bet.
All right, in the interest of getting started on time, I'm calling the May 22nd, 2025 meeting of the Iowa City Public Library Board of Trustees to order. Our first item on the agenda is to approve the May 22nd, 2025 board meeting agenda. I'd entertain and
So moved.
Second?
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? All right. And now we've got a public discussion. So we're open to the members of public that would like to speak.
Good. Hello, as Marine Corps veteran, I made 2 mistakes. This must be 6 round table. So, the record, Pastor Doyle, former Iowa journalist, Iowa educated, and here to speak about Black mental health. Are these being recorded?
Yes.
Yes.
I speak at a lot of live report meetings across the country, and some do, some don't. So, one for each. And I don't know if you received them because they were left with the previous director, but this is the current library calendar. I'm a native of Chicago. First entered Iowa in 1984 when Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson was running for president. So, Black mental health. Kerry Williams authored the preeminent book on Black mental health 15 years ago, brought her to the university again 10 years ago, because people are becoming more comfortable in speaking about Black mental health. The controversial statement that I'll now make as a United States Marine Corps veteran is the violence that is now prevalent in parts of Iowa still has nothing to do with white people. It has everything to do with Black mothers who do not prepare their children to live in the company of others. That makes you uncomfortable. Truth is truth is truth, because poor does not equate with taking a life, taking property, taking anything that doesn't belong to you. Home values. So the problems in Chicago have now spilled into education, where Black mothers have moved their children to Iowa, underprepared for the Iowa educational system, where children who grew up in rural areas read, readers are leaders. So every county has a library. At Clinton County, Johnson County has a library, this library, and Coralville, amongst others. What am I getting at? I share the same birthday as Officer Thomas Eugene Wortham IV. His sister wrote that op-ed for the Sun-Times 5 years ago on the 10th anniversary of him being murdered 30 minutes after leaving my company. Again, his murderers were not white. 2 days ago in Bettendorf, you had 2 officers shot. It's the front page of the Sun-Times. Draw the conclusion. So you are doing the best you can as a volunteer board to advance literacy in Johnson County. However, you cannot force Black mothers to bring their children to the library to learn to read, to change their lives. So to the left of me, who will be taking the next 5 minutes, is a University of Iowa graduate of 23, who's a Tipton native, who has started working with families of different races in Iowa about self-sufficiency and success, who thinks that he has to have a scripted 5 minutes, and I've told him, be comfortable, because you're amongst friends. So with that being said, don't know what questions afterwards you might have, but I appreciate the time because I've been away for a while. Elder care. My mother passed away in September, and now I'm free speaking, which again is advancing literacy in Iowa as a United States Marine Corps veteran. Readers, our leaders, listeners, and Black mothers must do better. It is essential. Think about
Yes, as I was already introduced, but I'm Jackson Lawrence. I was introduced. He makes a great point with that, when, yes, I am really trying to strive to inspire the younger generation, specifically within the local colleges and also within local high schools. As I'm sure everybody here would agree, there is not only a lack of work ethic in coming generations, including my own, and there is also a lack of mentorship from previous generations. And we need to figure out how to create a bond between the two of those. And that's where I think a lot of extracurricular activities geared specifically towards inspiring these younger generations to not only do better and be proud of themselves and be proud of their work, but to figure out how to better society as a whole together. And so that's why I'm here at the board, just trying to get my name out and begin that conversation with you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Is there any other members of the public who would like to speak?
Would you like to speak?
I'm just here.
I'll go.
Okay, perfect. Then let's move to our agenda. And what is first on our agenda is review and consider adoption of the FY26 wage resolution. Board action is required on this.
So you saw, excuse me, you saw the tentative agreement that was in the board packet last. This is just the finalized version of it. The city council says a 2.75% across the board wage, and it was finalized by the city council on Tuesday, May 6th. And this is just pretty much a formality.
What would happen if we didn't approve it?
We asked that every.
This seems like a very deal.
But as a semi-autonomous board, you did send the management rep to go negotiate it.
Semi and semi.
Right.
I move that, go ahead. I move that we approve the proposal here under adoption of the 2026 the FSCME pay plan.
So moved. We're here a second.
I'll second.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? All right. Hearing none, we're on to the next. This next agenda item is policy review on 809 library use. Board action is required on this.
Looks like it's just the updates we suggested
Yes.
last month,
Mm-hmm.
and then we accepted.
Well, we're flying right along.
Second.
Having a second. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
I did have one question for you. Was it useful to have the draft?
Yes.
Yes.
I wrote that, thank you.
Knowing that, we're going to go after the library copyright policy 814. Board action is required on this as well. Any issues?
Jason led the policy review committee for this. So if you do have any questions, he's here to.
And was there too. It was, like the full list thing. Yes, so it was another sizable committee representing my team. Nothing too. Each time we touch this one, it seems like we're just on a little bit. So.
Right. And technology change. I move that we accept the policy revisions on the copyright policy.
All right, that's moved. We're here a second.
I'll second.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Hearing none, we're on to our bylaws. The main thing that is being solicited right now is feedback on the current policy. See how we need to proceed with needed revisions. Does that mean that it's largely exactly as you'd like it to be seen, and you want to see if we had any issues with this?
Well, there's a couple things that it does have to go through legal. Mainly because you have so section 6 on page, so it's on page 27, is you have information about committees. And with the new state law on how committees will now have to be open to the public, they will have to have minutes if they're a regular standing committee. And so we want to look at that language to make sure state law, and if you can want to continue to have standing committees. Or if they're going to be a volunteer group assigned a specific task.
But the standing committee specified here, because I know we had talked about no longer having that structure.
They're not listed,
So the board policy could remain as is.
and our practice can
Yes,
be
so that we
advisory
have
groups,
The
exactly.
committee, should the need ever arise, as long as the city attorneys advising that we do that.
I believe so. I believe they would want the word committee changed.
Yes. Or it's that option, or to remove that section 6 altogether.
Right, exactly. But are there other questions that you would like us to bring forth to legal about the bylaws?
On, not about, I don't think this needs to go to legal, but on page 28, section 1. It says the membership of the Iowa City Public Library Friends Foundation consists solely of the trustees of the Iowa City Public Library. And that is not true.
What page are we on?
28,
20?
28.
28, thank you.
As someone who was on the rewriting committee 3 years ago or whatever it was, I take full responsibility for that. Not being true.
As it says, the president of the trustee shall serve as a director. Oh, no, that's still within the trust. The wording with the whole friends relationship is convoluted.
Yeah. And be clarified.
It's a good time because we're going to be reviewing your the MOU with the Friends Foundation.
Right, he's protecting with this.
Yeah.
So would you come back in a month with a recommendation on wording?
Mhm.
Any other concerns?
So a big reason we adjusted this a few years ago was changes in state laws about meetings to be in person. So I'm assuming that's all still correct, but that's probably something to review.
What section are you looking at for that?
It was, I think, Article 5 meetings.
Yeah, under electronic participation.
I know one thing we considered when I was just starting out on the board was if the Thursday at 5 p.m. was the right time. At the time, we thought that it might be limiting by certain demographics, and we wanted to avoid that. But we weren't able to come up with a better alternative to 5 o'clock. So that's where we landed.
What, who was disconvenienced by that time? I wasn't on the board then, so I had not privy to that discussion.
Parents with young children.
Sure, people who didn't get off work before 5.
Yeah.
But again, no matter what time we set the structure, everybody.
So what if we started at 5:30? That won't help with the children, but
But maybe we should allow that for the next board of trustees to see when they're available rather than for us.
I think that'd be a nice thing to discuss with them present. Yeah, because I would hate to move it around and then wait, it's more inconvenient.
Right, for the trustees.
Yeah. Any other concerns or questions? Not, we can move.
I should take, it's not just for the convenience of the trustees, it's also for the public to speak to us.
Yes.
So it's for,
yeah. And I would think library staff
as well. I mean, I don't know what that, when your days are over and if that means leaving and coming back or. Right. Yeah.
They're paid to be here.
Let the record show. Any other concerns or comments? Otherwise, we can move on to the director's report.
Yeah, sorry, it was very long.
Got a lot going on.
Take the mantle.
In just a few days.
I do have a couple of updates on this, especially the state library priorities. They sent that email saying if there were cuts, well, there were cuts, not from IMLS, but from the state. So they are removing the foundation directory, our access to OCLC for search, and they're removing Brain Fuse. And they're changing the Iowa Shares delivery from 2 days a week to one. They do not have an end date for the 2-day-a-week delivery, so we're waiting to hear back from the state on that one. But we do know by like around July that they'll get rid of the databases.
For what?
You said until the beginning of July, until the end. So it's not based on a fiscal year, it's based on.
Two of them end June 30th, and then Brain Fuse ends July 15th. So it must have just been whenever they signed the contract.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, there's the Brain Fuse might continue because Iowa Workforce Development might offer it. They're doing an RFP for a similar type software. So we might have information on that, but none to share at this moment.
Any questions? You'll notice that the intellectual freedom statement. It's right
Yes.
after that. Very nice. Yes.
And then we have them on little
Who took the time to do this? It's wonderful.
Yeah.
This was done by Eric, our graphic designer.
It's great. Are there any plans on this, sharing this wider or where we could display this? Because this is great. It's succinct, it's cutting, it's really good.
We have it framed downstairs in the lobby next to the accreditation and the pictures of the trustees. So when you're walking into the lobby, you'll see it. They'll be at public service desks as well. So in our outreach sites too. We did also receive the Enrich Iowa agreement. So we will be getting direct state aid. We don't know how much, but we've signed the agreement. So we'll get more information from the state too. And I shared information about the trustee appointments too.
It's great. Yeah, it looks like we're getting some all-stars. Great to see. All right. With that, I think we're able to move on to department reports. First, we've got Jason from Adult Services. Any questions?
The only update since this was last night was the downtown district's annual meeting. So I was there with many other people from nonprofits and the local government. City councilors were all there. They're getting ready to go out for the new, they have to have SMIP renewal for that's their funding source. So that needs to go out for petition. For the next 10 years, they'll be covered by this petition. So there's one more meeting. There's a June meeting, and then in July, I'll be the president of the board. That definitely. Yeah.
Hey, congratulations.
Yeah, I'll be leading the charge. So if you want a building downtown, I want to talk to you. I'm building downtown.
Want to talk about the browsing party?
Browsing party coming up on Friday.
Yeah, what's that?
The Iowa City Public Library House Band will be playing again. Sort of a nice. It's fun to hear the music in the middle of the library during open hours. Maybe not to everybody.
Yeah, what will we do about people that aren't that cool with it?
We've got every other hour of the day. I'll just be a couple of hours on Friday night, so if you're looking to get, that'll be the launch of the teen and adult summer reading. Officially, everybody's starting on Tuesday, but the party starts Friday, and then following Saturday, should play about. That's for other people.
For the smaller size individuals.
So yeah, it'll be fun. There'll be lots of staff coming in extra time to be a part of the party and to help people find new books to read for the summer.
It's pretty big last year.
We had several hundred people come.
Wow,
So
super cool.
Okay, so summer reading starts next Tuesday, May 27th. Browsing party on the 30th. And then ABC Day, part of Summer Arts Festival on Saturday, June 7th. The official kickoff for kids.
When I get start reading books on Tuesday, don't read until Tuesday.
No.
They counts until Tuesday. And you need to read 24 hours this summer or 4 books if you're an adult.
24 if you're a kid.
Your kid.
Cool. Love it. All right. Any other questions for Jason? Otherwise, we can move on to Community and Access Services Department. Sam's not here, but as always, they give us plenty of information to go off of.
the seed library is very popular.
Is it popular?
It's very popular.
I was wondering.
You can, they're held in the old microphone storage cabinet and
Yeah.
been here 20 years and like, that's the sound I used to hear when people were like, oh, someone's using the microphone. And now I hear it every day, all day. The microphone, but no, there's big seats.
Let's say.
Really
So
popular.
what would be needed to sustain that for, future?
Well, this is so the first year, I mean, we have yet to ask for community.
Right.
That'll be the first cycle of who's bringing their seeds in. But we do have a robust gardening community.
So it will
Self-sustain.
replenish itself.
I hope, because right now these were all donated.
Like,
Majority of it was donated.
We have a couple community partners too that had helped gather seeds, and so we can use those relationships.
we didn't use master partners, and they've spoken. The teams here, right?
Benefit staff is in the board.
So, okay, it's right there.
She is right up here too.
In front of that camera.
But you're right, we should check with her.
I did
Ask at the fair.
I did ask a couple people, like the first day, we had several people come up to use it. And it wasn't our Facebook that they found out about it. It was from our community partners. So
Nice. Nice service.
And we can harvest for the flower garden seeds from the
Ourselves,
garden.
yeah,
And potentially the vegetables too,
right.
if we had extras of it. Maybe Victoria will harvest some food. Cultivate.
That would be the ultimate self-sustaining.
Yeah. Also take some lettuce on board. Just stop by the garden.
Just please.
It's time to harvest, because this week it's gonna get warm eventually. So they'll stop throwing.
The deal will go on its annual 1 week hiatus, not next week, the following week, the 2nd through the 6th. It'll be back downtown the 7th for a UC day.
All right, then we have the development report, and I didn't see that in the packet.
What was there?
Is it?
Page 37.
Thank you. Okay. So great gifting was enormous.
Wow.
Any questions about it? All right. Well, then now we can move on to the vice president's report. So that's great. I don't have anything to share, other than it's gonna be weird not coming to these meetings, after the next couple. So I'm gonna miss this quite a bit. Any announcements from members? All right. From the foundation, any updates? Advocacy group? Bueller? Nope, nope. Okay. All right, we've got a couple of news articles, a nice hit piece in there. It was good to see. But yeah, I think the next thing that we would go over is the consent agenda for approving the minutes of our meeting on April 24th. I'd entertain a motion.
So moved. I'll second.
Second, all right. All those in favor of approving it as written? Nice. All those opposed? Hearing none. All right. No, we can discuss our disbursements or we can just approve them. I would entertain a motion to approve.
That was part of the consent agenda.
It was, sorry.
Yep.
I got them mixed.
He's through.
Yeah, right. Better than asking that needs.
Stay on target, stay on target.
Miss it.
That's great. All right. Then let's look back to our June agenda. See what we have cooking up. All right. So we've got policy review of the 101 bylaws, circulation and library card policy, and meeting room and lobby use. And we're also going to adopt the NOVU budget. All right. Unless there's anything else.
And the Friends meeting in the
Yes.
beginning of the evening, before our meeting.
Yes, the Friends
Two
Corporate
separate
meeting is
meetings.
happening.
So that one will start at 5.
Start-
Yes.
And then the rest of the meeting will start at 5:05.
Cool. All right. Unless there's anything else, I think we can adjourn.
Think you'd be Tom.
I did meet Tom.
That was the first thing.